Going on, Jerome's? Happy New Year, happy Monday. Hopefully your coffee is as hot as this face. That's right. One of my resolutions in 2023, even though I don't believe in resolutions, is to accentuate the moneymaker even more. It's like, why hide it? I mean, why lie? Anyways, the Vikings did not have a good start to the calendar season, losing allegedly to the greasy grimy Green Bay Packers up in Lambeau. But the Vikings are 12-4, still wanting some more, still going to host a playoff game. Blah 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 blah. So here are 10 truths for the Minnesota Vikings. Tell the truth Monday. Number one, the Vikings had everything to play for, which is so damn frustrating. So the Vikings, they had an opening for the 1 seed with Philly losing to the Saints, and they could have stayed ahead of the Niners for the 2 seed at minimum, and they could have ended the greasy grimy Green Bay Packers season in Lambeau, but they didn't do it. They didn't do it, and it was a myriad of things where it was, they weren't wearing the right cleats to start the game, which we're going to get into, Cleatgate, which I actually think could be a thing. And then a couple things went bad. The Vikings had a block punt, which is fantastic, down at the 1. They didn't score. That was very bad. And then the Packers reeled off 97,000 unanswered points. And then you had the return, you had the pick six, you had all the nonsense, and it just sort of snowballed. And the Vikings, maybe they relied too much on trying to come back on everyone, but it didn't happen, and the Vikings just shat themselves. They absolutely shat the bed in a bad spot. Kevin O'Connell, first game in Lambeau, and just handed it to him. It was rough, man. Number two, O'Connell and the emotional hangovers. Now, Kevin O'Connell, he's a young head coach, first year. We know that he's going to learn and grow from this, but look at all the Vikings losses. So you have the Eagles loss after the emotional Packers win. You have the Cowboys loss, shellacking, after the very emotional win against the Buffalo Bills. You have the Lions loss after a last-second win against the Jets, and then you have the Packers loss, alleged loss, after the 61-yard kick against the friggin' Giants, right? So every single loss comes off an emotional win. So it's something that Kevin O'Connell has to take to heart, where he has to learn, hey, I have to get this team back to work and off of the emotional high and potentially recharge their batteries if they're emotionally drained. I mean, some of those games, overtime games, so they got to do that. That's exactly what they have to do. So I know that O'Connell says that that's on me. I love that he's taking ownership of it, but got to go further. Got to go further because you know that if and when the Vikings win games in the playoffs, they will be emotional wins, and we've seen what happened. Minneapolis Miracle, 38-7. Can't have it, man. Can't have it. Next up, number three. O-line injuries could kill this team. So, Darius Hall's been dinged up this season. Garrett Bradbury's missed the last 4 games. Probably going to miss the final regular season game as well, which will be good, and hopefully getting him back ready for the playoffs. Brian O'Neill, knocking on all the wood. Hopefully it's a minor injury to his calf and he'll return for the playoffs. And then you saw what happened. Like after Bradbury went down, Schlutman was okay for 4 games, and then he breaks his ankle. And then Chris Reed comes in. It looks like he's never played center in his life in a regular season NFL game. Oh, wait, he hadn't. And he didn't know the snap count. Freaking. Just so frustrating. Where the offensive line is probably the best that Kirk Cousins has had in the last 5 years, but they still have a myriad of issues. Injuries is one of them. Consistency is one of them. Kirk's still been sacked, 46 times? Career high? And also, offensive line lack of continuity up front is one of the reasons why the running game has struggled mightily the last couple weeks as well. So, where the downfall of this team, why can't the downfall of this team be Greg Joseph as opposed to the offensive line again? Just kidding. Number 4, Jefferson probably won't get the record. So Jefferson, 1 catch, 15 yards, not great against the Packers. And Jar saying, I shut him down now. You doubled him the entire game. Vikings offensive line had issues. Vikings couldn't snap the ball. Cousins didn't have time is the whole thing, right? But Jefferson has 124 catches, 1,771 yards receiving. He needs 259 for 2K. Okay, 194 for the Megatron record and 26 catches for the Michael Thomas record. So probably ain't going to get that. And since the Vikings are basically locked into the 3 seed, you should sit everyone. Sit Jefferson, keep him healthy. Sit Cousins, keep him healthy, and then go from there. Next up, number 5. I like the Jefferson fire. So Justin Jefferson, you could tell, the chirping from Jar, the chirping from the rest of the Packers secondary. I wasn't saying that he's ready to go Andre Johnson, Cortland Finnegan, and just start swinging on him, but I like that Jefferson was getting fired up, and I actually don't mind him showing emotion on the sideline, tossing the helmet, because he wants to win. It's not about stats with him. He wants to get the W, and the Vikings simply weren't getting it done. And now, it was very close where he almost hit the official with his helmet. He almost went Myles Garrett on the bit, but No, like I do like that Jefferson's shown that he is the ultimate competitor because, I mean, he's obviously super cool, super laid back, but he's got that dog in him too. And we're going to need that down the stretch. Number 6, Kevin O'Connell should rest as many as possible. Like we said, they should treat Week 18 like a preseason game. As many veteran starters and guys who have had injuries as you can sit. I know that it's tough with the 53-man rooster, 46 game day, only 2 practice squad elevations, but do what you can. Sit as many guys as possible. So we're talking Cousins, Dalvin, Jefferson, Thielen, Hockenson, Darisaw, O'Neal, obviously, Bradbury, obviously, Diesel, Dalvin, Harrison Phillips, Kendricks, Hicks, Daniil, Za'Darius, Patrick Peterson, Harrison Smith. At minimum, that should be people who sit like. Also, call up Josh Rosen from the practice squad because Kevin O'Connell should be playing quarterback Week 18 versus the Bears before Kirk Cousins gets in there. Anyways, number 7. Hell, Kevin O'Connell might beat the Bears. Special teams needs to be fixed. Now, Matt Daniels and company, they were fantastic at the start of the season. They've really been shoddy at times, especially the kick and punt coverage units. And they got exposed in kick coverage on Sunday against the Packers, a 105 to the house. That's the second that's been taken back on the Vikings this year. Also, Greg Joseph missing a 46 and 50. This after he drilled that 61-yarder as well as kicked the game winner against the Colts. So, I mean, that's something that needs to be worked on, where third phase is extremely important, field position, hidden yardage, everything, where, I mean, I trust Matt Daniels. I think that his guys will get this thing fixed, but it's inexcusable. I mean, that the kick return really opened up the floodgates, right? So the Vikings had that momentum, even though they settled for 3, being down at the 1. It's just tough, man. Number 8, can't expect to come back. Oh, and also Greg Joseph, he's got to get his head out of his arse again. He had not missed a kick, 15 straight kicks, over 4 games. The Vikings are going to try and win these close games. They need him. Can't leave points on the board, man. Can't expect to come back against good teams. Where maybe the Vikings got too comfortable. It's like, hey, we're down. We're a fourth quarter team. We're the best fourth quarter point differential team in the league, even though everyone harps on point differential. We'll come back. It's going to be tough to do. Like, if you get down against the Niners, if you can get down against the Cowboys or the Eagles with Jalen Hurts in there, if you get down double digits, multiple scores, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really, really tough, man. Or if and when you get to the Super Bowl, come back against the Bills. Oh, wait, we did that. Or come back against the Chiefs or the Bengals. No. Like, can we actually start fast? Can we be a first half team? Like, can we change things up a little bit? How about we be a first half and a fourth quarter team? They can have the third quarter. There we go. Next up, number 9. Still 12-4, still hosting a playoff game. I understand that it's very easy for Vikings fans to cry in the breast milk, even though maybe like Vikings fans' New Year's resolutions was to be more negative. I mean, it's possible, man. But 12-4, still hosting a playoff game. If things go well, you're going to be hosting 2. Maybe. Well, looking at the playoff bracket right now. So, if the season ended today, well, say the Packers get it as the 7th seed. Now, we were told that the Packers are so good. All right, so blah, 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 blah. So the Vikings hosting the Giants, they beat the Giants. Say that the Packers beat the Niners, and we'll say that the Cowboys beat the Bucks. So it would be a 1-7 and 3-5. So it would be the Packers visiting Philly, and I've been told that the Packers are so good, and then the Cowboys, the Vikings hosting the Cowboys in the 3-5 matchup after they beat the Buccaneers. So the Vikings get revenge there as well. And then guess what? After the Vikings beat the Giants and they beat the Cowboys, and the Packers, who are supposed to be so good, they beat the Niners and the Eagles. Guess who's hosting the NFC title game? Vikings versus Packers, US Bank Stadium. Let's go. Round 3. Ding, ding, ding. Bam. So yeah, I understand it's very easy because of recency bias to just be like, oh, but no, shut up. And lastly, number 10, competitive rebuild is way ahead of schedule. So in a vacuum right now, beginning of the season, or actually, we'll take it back even farther. When the Vikings hired Kwesi adofo-mensah, when the Vikings hired Kevin O'Connell over Jim Harbaugh, and you told me that after Week 17, the Vikings will be 12-4 and would have secured the division for a couple weeks, I mean, you're going to take that. I mean, warts and all, this team is a good football team, even though when they get beat, they get beat. But and they win, they win by marginally. Right, but 12-4 is still 12-4. I've been told that you are what your record says you are, and we'll just go from there, man. So whatever happens, Week 18 happens. Vikings go into the playoffs. They'll be hosting at least one playoff game. Kick somebody's ass. and then go from there, man. But that's it. That's 10 truths on Tell the Truth Monday. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work, put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.